Hey friends, I'm Victoria. Welcome to my kitchen. I wanted to tell you about something kind of crazy that I'm doing. And it is right now September 30th. Starting October 1st, I made a commitment to myself and to my family to not eat out for 30 days. We just said 30 days because it was a round number, but we're like the whole month of October basically. And why are we doing this? One, my husband and I are getting clear on our food budget, how much we should really be spending on food. And when you're eating out a lot, you are just spending money, okay? You're not getting really clear on your budget. So there's that first. So budget, and then also really dialing in the food that we want to be eating, want to put in our bodies. So how are we going to do this? Okay, so I'm going to set a couple ground rules first because I'm going to invite you to do this with me. You don't have to give me your email. You don't have to do anything. I mean, just subscribe and I'll be sharing this journey with you, but just play along. Okay. And to do this with me and see how things have changed either with your budget financially or just with your life and what you've been eating, how you've been feeling, that sort of thing. Let's first talk about how we're going to do this. So I have this theory and it's called kitchen alchemy. So here's what kitchen alchemy is. Have you ever had a really super simple meal from like your favorite person in the whole world? And maybe that was your grandma or your favorite aunt, or maybe it was your mom or whoever. And the dish was so simple, it was so delicious. And you've never had anything else like it. And you try to make it yourself, it doesn't taste the same. Do you know what I'm talking about? That is what I call kitchen alchemy. And we're going to be using that to make really simple dishes. So I want you to think about two things. One, volume of food. How are you going to feed all your people? And two, how can we make this as simple as possible? So I have a couple ground rules. So here are my ground rules. I took notes, right? So if you're playing along, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how would we even start this venture? Because this seems like a huge undertaking. And I don't know if you've ever seen people who have done meal planning and they have a pretty calendar out and they have like for every day a different dish and da da da. We're not gonna do that because it's too much for our brains, okay? We got work, we got kids, we got like your life is probably hectic in and of itself. You don't need to add to it. So here's what we're gonna do. First, I want you to consider your dietary restrictions. I've been on an anti-inflammatory diet since about April, May, and which it has, I could tell, like definitely I'm feeling less puffy, which is great, but there's a couple things I still have to watch out for. I noticed that egg is still a no-go for me. If I eat something with egg in it, my nose will start running almost immediately. And it's an inflammatory response, and that's just how it's coming up for me. So if you have any inflammatory stuff that you're looking at, or if you have a special diet or whatever, we're gonna consider that first. So for me, I do egg-free, dairy-free, because dairy doesn't do me any favors, especially when I'm dealing with sinus issues. So consider your dietary restrictions first. If you have zero dietary restrictions, yay for you. The one thing I will say is it's always helpful to get a test if you don't know what is going on. And that was me early in the year. I had no idea what was going on. And I started to see a Chinese medicine doctor. One last thing I will say about an inflammatory test, you can get these online. You can get one on Amazon. How good are they? I do not know. I had my doctor run the test and I really like her. So do whatever you gotta do, boo, okay? So I just wanna bring that up. Consider your diet. So the question is, how are we gonna do this, okay? So we wanna be as uncomplicated as possible, one. And two, we wanna think about this concept of kitchen alchemy where we are cooking with intention and with love, and we are making things as simple as possible. One of the dishes that I made for a friend, this was like years ago, and I made a cassoulet. And cassoulet is like a French stew. And this is not a difficult dish, but he just so appreciated that I made him this dinner. And that's what I want you to think about, is how can you make dishes that are from the heart, that are quick and easy, that are going to be nourishing to your body. I mean, maybe that means you make one big pot of something on a Monday and then you're not cooking on Tuesday and Wednesday, okay? So a couple things I want you to think about. What is your schedule like during the week? Typically people hit the drive-through because they are not prepared. Like last night we had a parent meeting. We ended up doing In-N-Out that day, and we were intentional about it because we're like, we have 45 minutes to eat and then get back to the school, so let's just do In-N-Out. So we're gonna have that same intentionality when we're planning out our meals. Now, here's what I want you to think about. I don't want you to come up with 30 different recipes. That is bonkers. That is beyond bonkers. And as you're thinking about this process and as you're cooking during this month, if you're following along, what I want you to think about is, what are 10 meals that my family likes? And I actually have our sample here that I was gonna list out to you to give you some ideas. So for our dinners, so think 10 dinners. So homemade pizza, and I make my own pizza crust. There's a recipe for that on my blog. Homemade burgers, pasta sauce and pasta, grilled cheese and tomato soup, zuppa toscana, barbecue pork butt, barbecue pork sandwiches, meatballs, chili, meatloaf, and pasta dish cacio e pepe. So that's 10. What I want you to think about is, these are things that you're gonna eat all the time. So my goal here is pick 10 entrees that we can cook 3 times during the 30-day challenge, okay? We're not gonna get sick of it because we're rotating things in and out, right? So the next thing to think about is breakfast and lunch and snacks. Okay, so for breakfast, I would pick 2 things that you really like. So for my son, he likes a protein in the morning. He really likes either a breakfast sausage patty or a burger patty, and then he'll generally have some fruit as a side for breakfast. So I can go ahead and make burger patties ahead of time, or sausage patties ahead of time, or do that Monday morning and then have them available the whole week. Okay, see where I'm going with this? So I want you to plan 2 different breakfasts that you like so you can swap things out. For lunch, pick 3 to 4 different lunches. Again, you see where I'm going? So for me, I make this chickpea salad that I really like. I have an example of this on the blog. I do it a little bit different now because I'm not doing dairy. You could do a quinoa bowl, which I really love those, or a grain bowl, or something like a taco bowl, something like that. And my family also really loves hummus. So I have a goal to make my own pita bread, and then we could try to make like a hummus wrap thing. So that's on the list as well. So other good things for lunches are soups. So you can make a pot of soup, and you can actually freeze soup really easily. And you can make a pot of soup and eat it twice this week and still have 2 portions left over for next week. And I think that soup is fantastic for that. I have a whole soup cookbook about how you can make the best soup of your life in under an hour. I'll put a link to that below. Okay, other things you may want to think about are, in terms of lunch, are eggs, okay? Egg was my go-to. It was my go-to. And it has taken me a hot minute to realize what else I can eat aside from egg. Egg is a great source of protein. So figure out if you need more protein or fiber or whatever it is, you can incorporate that into your meal as well. All right, so what about snacks? Let's talk snacks for a minute. So whatever your family likes as a snack, obviously we're gonna figure out how to make it at home. So I do different types of snacks that my family actually likes. So I'll do something like take 3 or 4 types of nuts and seeds, cover them in I'll drizzle them in a dark chocolate and freeze it. And these kind of nut clusters gives you the sense that you're eating a lovely sweet treat, but you actually made it at home. So something like that, is that where you're gonna reach for? Or are you gonna reach for something like a pretzel? And if the thing that you like is store-bought and there's no way to make it at home, then what I want you to do is go ahead and stock up. Stock up, go to Costco, see what you can do for the month. Here's ground rules for the month. Costco's okay, your local grocery store is okay. We are not eating out. So we are not stepping foot in a restaurant. We are not going to sit down at a restaurant. We're not going to Starbucks. anything that you would get at Starbucks, you can make at home. And I'm gonna be sharing with you my pumpkin spice recipe. It's cinnamon, cinnamon? Why am I saying it like that? It's cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, and other spices like that, like star anise and things like that. And we're gonna make our own pumpkin spice at home. That's one of the recipes I'm gonna teach you this upcoming week. Get one of those little whiskey thingies. I'll put a link below to the one I like. And you have your own latte at home. So we don't need to go out. The thing is, I want this to be fun and not restrictive. So that's a whole mindset thing here. But if you're used to going out for snacks, if you're used to going out for ice cream or whatever, the whole idea is to rethink how we're spending our money on our food and where our food is coming from. So you can do this any way you want to. I'm not there telling you what to do with your life, but I want you to think about those things if you're participating in this challenge. Okay, so that's my challenge for you. Let me know if you want to join what we're doing. Again, 10 dinners. We're doing like 4 lunches. We're planning 2 breakfasts and like 2 or 3 snacks. Whatever your favorites are, I want you to get a good recipe for that sort of thing. So like if it's granola, you can make granola at home. I have a great recipe on my website. If it is, I don't know, like I said, homemade burgers, I end up using my ciabatta roll recipe to do homemade buns. And it's cheaper, and actually cheaper than going to the grocery store, because I get caught in the grocery store in the vortex and I'm like, oh, I can bring all these things home. No. So I do much better not going to the grocery store. So I'm also challenging myself to only go to the grocery store once a week, and I get 1 delivery from Misfits Market. That's what I'm up to this month. Let me know if you want to just follow along to see if I'm gonna fail completely on this, or if you want to join us. If you wanna join us, welcome. Comment below and let me know the one thing you think will be challenging, and the one recipe you're really looking for. All right, friends, that's it for me today. Again, I don't have anywhere for you to sign up for the challenge. This is just something you're gonna do and follow along with me, but I want you to comment below and let me know if you're following along too. All right, friends, I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with a friend who you think needs to join the challenge. I'll see you soon.